Yep. So you have lost something, and I lost it for a little while, and it's something you had as a kid, and it's been taken away from you. That thing is your childlike squat. Add a little drama in there, so you're welcome. So everybody knows the feeling of, oh, leg day is coming. I'm going to be sore for a week. You don't have to push it that hard, but you get the idea. But I think it's a shame because we all start out squatting so easily as kids. I remember my first squat workout from high school, and I was terribly sore. But from that point on, we squatted twice a week. I got into Olympic lifting, and that was like at least 3 days a week. I did have a stint where I quit or just stopped for a little bit, sore again. But I was squatting frequently. But I'm sad to say that I was only squatting in the squat sessions, right? The squat should be something that is a resting position, not only what we use as a training, movement pattern, right? You look at little kids; they can just relax and squat down whenever they want. And I know this because of my quote unquote mentors. Ido Portal, Mehdi Hadim is the guy that made Strong Lifts 5x5. Kelly Starrett, Zach Tillander, and Dan John. They actually all say the same thing, which is to get better at the squat position, you just squat. Ido Portal recommends 30 minutes. Mehdi and Kelly Starrett, 10 minutes. Right? Kelly Starrett had the 10-minute squat test. Zach Tillander had the 5-minute squat challenge, and he actually used that for Olympic lifts. And then Dan John, he had a program, and part of his warm-up was just 30 seconds. So you can see it's all the same thing. It's just a matter of how much time. Now you may think, well, it can't be that simple. People are going to be like, oh, my limb length, or you need to stretch all the different body parts individually. I don't know. It does help, like stretching other, your ankles, on my hip flexors, on my hamstrings. It does help, but at the same time, if the squat's a resting position and you just get better at it by doing it, why don't we just jump to the end? Okay, you can have a mobility session. Just tack on a squat in there, all right? And I think, or not I think, I just kind of know that being better at a squat is kind of the opposite of triple extension, but it helps with athleticism, right? We all know kids, if we're talking about Olympic lifting, kids can go into Olympic lifting. They're like, wow, they're animals. It's like, yeah, because they don't have any mobility restrictions. And I remember this T Nation article. This guy was training people in a third world country, I think in Central America. And they were able to build up to a bodyweight squat, which is pretty good for people just starting out in a short period of time, right? So again, people are going to be like, oh, what if my back rounds? Well, just try not to let it. What if my heels come off the ground? Well, just elevate them, right? Just what if my knees cave in? We'll push them out. Just modify things to suit your needs. So what do we actually do? I'm going to tell you. And I actually have not warmed up yet to prove a point. What you do is you start out, you could do this for anywhere from 30 seconds to 30 minutes a day. I recommend starting with 5. That's enough to have it be challenging, right? Zach Tillander had the 5-minute challenge, and I think he was aiming for it in one bout. But if you need to split it up, you can. And it actually, if you go up in time, it makes more sense because good luck doing 30 minutes in one shot. But then the squat also, it should be something where you do it throughout the day, right? You do it to rest. Kids do it to play. We would do it to eat. If you're in a country with a toilet hole in the ground, you would use it to relieve yourself. So it's that way, it kind of keeps you limber and ready to go. I understand though that if you forget, like I always have the idea like, oh, let me spread out the time through the day. And you just kind of forget because the day happens. So start with 5 minutes, okay? That way, if you can spread it throughout the day, that's ideal. And at that point, you're probably doing like sets of a minute. If you need to do it in one shot, go for it. And I will present a challenge to you at the end of this that I want to start myself. But if squatting is daunting, right, there are ways to regress it. And like I said, I haven't warmed up at all. So let's get into the rocking from original strength. So, am I in the shot here? Yeah. What you just want to start out with is just hanging out here. This is basically a squat position. And you just start, first of all, breathing and relaxing. Very exciting here. Because I think one of the, people talk about getting mobile. One of the things with original strength, like with breathing and head control and rocking, this is what we're going to lead to. But I think people are nervous about these squats, right? And we don't squat down to the ground. So if you're in the older population, you're thinking, I don't even know if I can get down there. You can hold on to something. But we also don't spend a lot of time squatting. Like the lowest most people probably squat is 90 degrees to a chair. And unfortunately, if it gets really bad, they need to help themselves up. So I am going to lead into this breathing, head controlling, and rocking. Not only am I mobilizing everything, but I'm just calming myself down because your body's like, I don't want to get down there. Relax yourself. And it's not going to be pretty, and I'm not going to do this forever. One leg at a time. If things are sticky, you're thinking about the hip, you're thinking about the foot, you're thinking about the posture here. I'm not letting my back round the best I can. And once that feels good, come back here, retest it. There we go. Now I have long femurs, and I'm not the most mobile guy, so it doesn't look pretty, but at the same time, any time spent down here is good, right? Like I said, you can work all the mobility stuff, like look at ATG, Ben Patrick, but this is not a passive position. I'm making sure my knees are kind of slightly out, my ankles and feet aren't relaxed at all because it's having to hold me up. I'm making sure my chest is up. So, like I said, accumulate time or have it be one bout. But I titled this Your First Squat Program because, like I said, everybody in the world is afraid of leg day. I mean, honestly, I don't think you should be blowing yourself out of the water for one day of the week anyway. But at the same time, I don't think this is a position that should be feared. Okay? If you spend a lot of time down here, like I said, 5 minutes a day, it'll be less daunting and your body will get used to it. And it'll make your warm-ups a lot shorter because you're ready to go. So my challenge to you and to myself, start with 5 minutes. I kind of want to get back to 30 minutes. That's kind of a big goal, but I'm not going to jump into that because going from 0 to 30 is kind of rough. So 5 minutes a day, maybe start that for a couple of weeks. And I don't know, I may write more detail later when I remember it in the description. But something like 5 for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to go like 7 to 12, I don't know, 15, 20. At that point, you basically go 20, 30 because it's all the same thing. But experiment for yourself, see what works for you, and be consistent here. All right. So this is part of the Primal workout program, and this is something that should be in your life if you want to have life in your legs. Thanks for watching, people. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.